Hello and welcome to another episode of A Brief History. Today's episode, The Amazing World of Gumball. Ready, set, go! London, England in the early 2000s. Lifelong cartoon lover and aspiring animator Ben Bocquelet finishes college and begins to take his artistic talents into the world of commercials, joining up with the British animation company Studio AKA. While there, Bocquelet worked on a couple of projects, co-writing and co-directing the 2003 short film Hell's Kitchen and designing the 2006 Estonian short The Little Short-Sighted Snake. But aside from these shorts, Bocquelet was designing tons of different cartoon characters to sell to advertisers. Unfortunately, Bocquelet's characters were rejected pretty often, and after a couple of years, come 2007, Bocquelet decided that it was time to leave Studio AKA. And coincidentally, around this same time, animation titan Cartoon Network was just launching a new studio based in London, Cartoon Network Studios Europe. And at the recommendation of one of his Studio AKA co-workers, Bocquelet decided to apply for a job at this new studio, which he totally got. Being hired by CN Europe as a development artist, helping others within the studio pitch their shows to the network. But naturally, helping other people pitch their shows will get you thinking about show ideas of your own. And eventually, Bocquelet was given the opportunity to make a pitch himself. Now, remember how I said Bocquelet had a ton of rejected characters left over from his commercial days? Well, for this pitch, Bocquelet decided to go green, I guess, and recycle nearly each and every one of them into a single new cartoon idea. Hitting pretty close to home for Bocquelet, his pitch to Cartoon Network was all about a remedial school for rejected cartoon characters. Basically, it was going to be about all of Bocquelet's failed cartoon pitches learning how to be proper cartoon characters. So you had a ton of totally unrelated characters, all created for different projects and purposes, coming together under one concept. Needless to say, this gave Bocquelet's pitch a pretty distinct look and feel that the producers at Cartoon Network were very much interested in. But unfortunately, the actual concept of the show didn't really fit with what CN was looking for at that time. But no worries, Bocquelet quickly retooled the concept, making it more of a family sitcom than an introspective look into personified versions of his past failures, and CN gave it the go-ahead to enter development. And thus, Bocquelet's show entered a decently lengthy 8-month-long development period. Like I said, his original concept was basically scrapped, and he now had to expand upon his new concept and develop new stories. Plus, looking at even the earliest development footage of the show, it was pretty visually ambitious. But despite the show's lofty goals, Bocquelet's series known simply as Gumball was eventually approved for full production, becoming the very first Cartoon Network Studios Europe series to be greenlit for TV. Fast forward to May 3rd, 2011, and Bocquelet's series, now known as The Amazing World of Gumball, was officially premiered on Cartoon Network. This series followed the lives of the Watterson family, Richard, Nicole, Anais, Darwin, and of course Gumball, and their adventures in the town of Elmore. And with basically every character being a different rejected design from Bocquelet's Studio AKA days, the show naturally had a pretty unique art style, in that it didn't really have a singular art style. Half of the characters were traditionally 2D animated, while the other half were 3D CGI, and some were even live action or puppets. Meanwhile, the show's environments were photorealistic, giving the whole series a surreal Who Framed Roger Rabbit look to it. Let me put it like this. Do you remember those bumpers that Cartoon Network used to play back in like 2004? The ones where Billy and Mandy, Ed, Ed and Eddie, and Hi Hi Puffy Yumi all lived on the same CGI city block and like crossed the street and stuff? Yeah, Gumball was basically that, the show. And even for season 1, Gumball already stood out amongst other cartoons on the network, and not just for its art. At its core, the show was primarily a school and family-oriented comedy, but the nature of the show's off-the-wall universe could make even the most stereotypical sitcom storyline fresh and exciting. Like getting your sister's favorite doll back from a bully who also happens to be a T-Rex. You see what I mean? So between the show's unorthodox premise, relatively unknown creator, and animation that required the efforts of like 4 different studios, it's safe to say that The Amazing World of Gumball was kind of a risk for Cartoon Network. And yet, they had full confidence in the show's potential, renewing the series for a second season before the first season had even premiered. And in the end, it all more than paid off, for The Amazing World of Gumball was a pretty immediate success, receiving critical praise praise and ratings in the millions. But things were only just getting started. Today, The Amazing World of Gumball is in the middle of its 6th season, and while the show has remained unchanged at its core, over the show's 7-year run, it has gone through its fair share of evolutions. The art and character design has been tweaked, Gumball and Darwin's voices have changed a couple of times, shout out to Junkie Janker, and most interestingly, the show has become far more self-aware. Gumball's stories have gone from being about fitting in, growing up, and getting lost in the woods, to being about the Wattersons fighting their Chinese knockoffs, Gumball and Darwin slowly realizing that they're actually living in a TV show and messing with the freaking fabric of reality. It's like meta to the point of being existential. Not to mention, the show can actually get pretty dark. Case in point, the season 5 episode The Puppets, which was co-written and directed by Becky Sloan and Joseph Pelling, the creators of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. And I think that's all I need to say for you to get the idea.
It's your turn with the balloon! The fun will never end!
Organize a spoon!
So, over the last several years, The Amazing World of Gumball has built up quite the positive reputation. But all that said, the show's future has proven to be sort of uncertain. On September 7th, 2016, Ben Bocquelet took to Twitter to announce that The Amazing World of Gumball would soon be coming to an end, with Season 6 being its last. However, not even an hour later, he clarified that he would be leaving the show at the end of Season 6, but that it's, quote, not necessarily the end of The Amazing World of Gumball, implying that the show would be continuing without him. But then, very recently, on March 27th, 2018, Bocquelet returned to his Twitter saying that he had an idea for a Gumball movie, maybe even 2. Of course, a single tweet from Ben Bocquelet doesn't mean that The Amazing World of Gumball cinematic universe will be launching into theaters this holiday season. But all in all, it seems like Gumball's future beyond its current season is pretty hard to predict. But even if the show ended today, that wouldn't change the impact that Gumball has had over the last 7 years. Before the series premiered, Cartoon Network was attempting to transition out of a really odd point in its history. After years of things like Destroy Build Destroy and Out of Jimmy's Head, which were the exact opposite of what the channel was known for, Cartoon Network was suddenly giving us the likes of Adventure Time, Regular Show, and The Amazing World of Gumball. Shows like these not only brought animation back to the forefront of Cartoon Network, but they were also unlike any cartoons we had seen before. Like, seriously, what other show can you think of that looks and feels like Gumball? I mean, it might not be as popular or iconic as Adventure Time or Steven Universe, but between its unparalleled art and animation, relatable cast of characters, and humor far ahead of its time, The Amazing World of Gumball very much holds its own against the competition and has more than carved out its own place in Cartoon Network history. Can you tell I like this show? 'Cause I really do. But you know what bugs me? This scene. Just look at Richard trying to shave. Do you see the struggle he's going through? It drives me crazy. If only he realized that it could all be so much easier with today's sponsor, Dollar Shave Club. I turned into Jerry Seinfeld. What's going on? What's the deal with this Dollar Shave Club? Well, we all know about Dollar Shave Club by now, right? I mean, sure, they ship awesome razors right to your door once a month, but they're so much more than that. And for a limited time, you can see what all Dollar Shave Club has to offer by going to dollarshaveclub.com/ABH, signing up to join, and picking up the Dollar Shave Club starter kit for just $5. This set comes with a little bit of everything, including their famous shave butter, body wash, One Wipe Charlie's butt wipes, and of course, their weighty executive razor and a whole set of extra cartridges. And after you've received your first box, replacement cartridges only cost a few bucks a month. Seriously guys, despite what Matt Pat likes to say, I do have to shave.
For whatever reason, all the guys on the team have these little tufts of hair on their chin. Except for Ryder, but that's because he's like, what, 12? Prepubescent.
That's rude.
And for real, I don't know the first thing about going out and shopping for grooming products in the real world. I'm a video editor. I stay indoors and let that face fuzz grow. So when I do need to shave, Dollar Shave Club just makes things so much easier. And if all of that sounds interesting to you, booth, then just head down to that top link in the description and sign up. Not only will you be getting a great set of grooming products for an affordable price, but you'll also be helping support A Brief History, which is always greatly appreciated. Dollar Shave Club is known to support so many of your favorite YouTube creators, and I have always thought that was awesome of them. So I'm very grateful that they would sponsor this episode of A Brief History, and I would love for you guys to go and check out what they have to offer. So major thanks to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this video, major thanks to you for watching and supporting the show, and until next time guys, thanks for watching, and DFTBA.